Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, Nate's Pink Bookshelf. My name is Nate's Niece. For those of you who are new to the channel or who just happen to stumble across this video, and today's video is going to be my Fantasyathon Wrap Up video. So if you guys haven't seen my TBR post or my TBR video, you can click down below to check out the post, as well as click the eye on the screen for the video. But this is going to be my wrap-up video. So I'm going to run through all 7 of the challenges and tell you guys how I did, what books I read, and my thoughts. But I did complete the entire challenge on the 12th. So the readathon went from the 5th to the 15th of April, and I finished everything on the 12th, which was awesome. So had fun with that. So now we're going to run through the challenges. So the first challenge was to read a diverse fantasy, and the book that I chose for that was Mirage by Somaiya. I think that's how you say it, Somaiya Daud. This is a YA fantasy that is set in a kind of Moroccan-inspired environment, and this has some sci-fi aspects to it. I did enjoy this. I gave this 4 stars. I really did love Amani, and I think his name is Idris. Marum, I'm a little iffy about her. Like, I like her, but I don't like her because of the way this ended. I think the god that they worship is Daya. He seems to be like a quite interesting god, so I'm interested to see how this goes, especially with how the book ended. I really want to know what's going to happen for both Amani and Idris, as well as how Marum is going to handle things with Amani, so we'll see. But I absolutely love this cover. The cover is so stunning to me. It's just this really nice royal purple with gold and this like golden yellow. I really like it. But that was the first book. The second challenge was to read a debut or backlist fantasy, and for that I went with The Vicious Deep by Zoraida Cordova. So this is a YA fantasy again, but this is more so paranormal, and it follows Tristan, who finds out in an awkward way that he is part merman. His mother is a mermaid, his father is human, and he finds out that his grandfather is the Sea King. So his grandfather basically has him come back because his grandfather does not have any sons. He only has daughters. All of his sons have died, so he's basically kind of like the heir of the Mer Kingdom, or the Kingdom of the Sea, whatever you call it. And he has to go through this kind of trial, so his grandfather picks him as a champion, and it basically ends off with a lot of death because he has an aunt who's basically crazy. She's a mermaid as well, but she's crazy. And yeah, it was quite interesting. I gave this 4 stars, right? Yes, I gave this 4 stars. It was an interesting story. I did love Lila. I really hope him and Lila kind of build their romance. I get why they wouldn't have a romance, because he went out with her friend, and I can't remember her friend's name right now, but her friend irritated the mess out of me. Like, I couldn't stand how annoying she was and how whiny she was. I think her name was Madison or Maddie or something like that. I loved Kurt. Was it Kurt or Kirk? His relative is a part of like the merman guard or whatever. But I did enjoy this, and I definitely want to read Savage Blue. I think that's the sequel. It's called The Savage Blue, so I'm definitely going to continue on with this trilogy because it really was interesting to me, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this progresses. So we have The Vicious Deep by Zoraida Cordova. The third challenge was to start or continue on in a series, and for that I went with Seer by Hettie Ivers. I love Hettie. I think it's Hettie or Hettie. I don't know. It's terrible. I should know how to pronounce her name by now, but it's terrible. But I absolutely love her. She is a phenomenal woman. I just love interacting and like conversing with her. I have all of her other books here, from down here to up here. Like, I own them all. So Seer is book 6 in the Warlock Evolution series. It's technically the 7th book because there is a prequel, but it is book 6, not including the prequel. But it follows the character Skye, who is kind of like the I don't want to say a monk among the werewolves, but he's kind of like the oddball, and he's also the doctor within the pack. So werewolves, for those who don't know, is a combination of a werewolf and a warlock together. So now they have this like werewolf species. So they're werewolves with magical abilities. Totally kick butt. But yeah, I gave this book a 4.75 star rating because it's technically really a 5-star, but I took away 0.25 only because it wasn't steamy enough. And the only reason why I could say that is because I know the build up that Skye, like, I know everything that Skye has gone through from book 1 to now, and I definitely wanted more for him romance-wise, especially since the female protagonist, Lauren, was kind of like the first, well, not the first, but like the first person he really found an attraction to, besides Melina. But yeah, I wanted a little bit more. It was steamy, but not exactly what I was expecting. But I did enjoy it. So it technically is 5 stars, but I gave it a 4.75 because I just know that there could have been more. And granted, even though this is book 6 within the Warlock Evolution series, his book is going to be a duet. So there is a second book coming out to his story. So I got my fingers crossed for that. Can't wait. Hope that's steamy. But that was that. So challenge number 4 was to read a hype train fantasy. And for this, you know, there's so many books out there. You know, you have the Cassandra Clare books. But I went with Victoria Schwab or V.E. Schwab. Now, I have read Vicious. I have read the entire Darker Shade of Magic trilogy. So I couldn't go with those books. So for that, I went with This Savage Song. And it is the first book in the... Oh, Monstrous? Nope. I will tell you guys the series right now because I can never ever get the name of the series right. So the series is called Monsters of Verity. Yes, Monsters of Verity. It's the first book. It is a duology. And I gave this book 4.5 stars. I did enjoy it a lot. I really enjoyed Kate's character. I enjoyed August's character a lot. August is probably my favorite character from the story. He's very much a monster. He was created, but he doesn't act like a monster. He's very much more human than most humans. And I love the idea of monsters versus humans, but the humans being more monstrous than the monsters, and the monsters being more human than the humans. Really, really good. Kate is a bold one, but I will say she puts on a really good front. As I got into the story, I got to know more about her, because at first I hated her. Not even gonna lie, like, you burned down a chapel. You burned down the chapel. Like, what? You punched somebody in the face. Like, come on. She's very, very gritty. But I get why she does it for her father, to get his, like, love and attention. But, yeah, I gave it 4.5 stars. I'm very hopeful for the sequel and to see how it ends, because I really want them to come together again. The ending just kind of made me sad, but it also made me curious, because there's another character that just popped up on a scene out the blue and was laughing all crazy. Whatever. So the 5th challenge was to read a fantasy you started but didn't finish. And for this, I went with a book that I received an e-arc of before it came out, but I never got a chance to finish the e-arc. So I decided to go with it because I do have a physical copy, and that is going to be The Fire Wish by Amber Lough. This is a YA fantasy. It includes genies, and I gave this 3.75 star rating. I don't know. It just, I guess because of the way it was written, is very much on the younger YA, like the lower YA scale. I'm more so into like the higher YA fantasies. This one, I like the concept of two people looking alike. This basically gave me the vibes of Mirage, I'm not even gonna lie, by Somaiya Daud, where you have two characters that look alike and they're on like opposite sides of the spectrum. So you have this princess, and then you have this Jinn, who basically end up trading places, but they're like, they look alike. They're twins, basically, or doppelgangers or whatever. I enjoyed it. I will continue on. I think it's only a duology. There is a second book. I may finish it. I'm not really sure. I did get this from my local library from their book sale. But yeah, I don't know. I gave it 3.75 stars. I honestly can't even remember the character's name. That's bad, right? Zele and Najwa. Yeah, they're word names. But they were interesting. I'm not even gonna say I remember, because I don't remember. So yeah, I gave it 3.75 stars. The 6th challenge was to read a fantasy in a genre or format you don't normally read it. So that would either be audiobook for me or middle grade. And you guys have seen this book I'm getting ready to show you in my other TBRs, because I just had to read it and it just worked with all the readathons I'm doing. So that is going to be Apprentice Needed by Obert Skye. And this is a sequel to Was It for Hire? This was so good. I gave this 5 stars. I loved it so much. I just love Ozzy. Ozzy is such an incredible character. He spent 7 years raising himself after his parents were kidnapped, and he's just so intelligent. He doesn't have a lot of people skills, but in this book he definitely is learning to gain those people skills. I really just enjoy his intelligence and his maturity and just how he handles himself. Clark is just like, he's just always going to be a funny character to me. Clark is a funny bird. He is a mechanical bird that his father, Ozzy's father, created, and he talks, and he's just freaking hilarious to me. Siggy is so amazing. I love her. I really hope that there's a romance that brews between Ozzy and Siggy, even though they're like 16 and 15 right now. It's okay. I'm hopeful for a romance in like the third book. But and Ren is supposed to be a wizard, but I still don't know if he's a wizard. He is either a crazy person that pretends he's a wizard, or he really is a wizard. And in this book, you really don't know which one it is, because when you think he's a wizard, he does something stupid, and you're just like, is he a wizard? But I loved it so much. The drama that ensues after the first book is just like, okay. In the first book, people try to kill him. In the second book, people try to kill him. So probably in the third book, people are going to try to kill him, but he always finds a way out. I will say the only thing that confuses me with this book is that they describe Ozzy and his parents as black, but then there's like certain things, like the illustration, he doesn't look black. This is supposed to be Ozzy, that's Ren, and this is Clark, the mechanical bird. So I'm not sure if Ozzy is black or not. They definitely do describe him as a black character in the first book and in the sequel, so I'm not really sure. But other than that, I do enjoy this book so much, and I absolutely adore the first book. Let me show you guys the first book. So the first book looks like this. It's Wizard for Hire. This is the first book. Really pretty. Again, the sequel that I have was an ARC that I received for review. Hopefully I can get a finished copy. But what I did for the first book was I painted the edges red, and yeah, I was gonna go with blue, but my sister and brother helped me pick red out just because there's like red on the cover. So yeah, again, I did this myself. This could have been done like a little bit better, but I adore the red color so much, and I don't know, it's just so awesome to open it and see like the red on the side, but whatever. But that is it for this video, you guys. Those are all the books. Oh, and the 7th challenge, sorry, I forgot to tell you guys, the 7th challenge was basically to read and kind of like with a candle on and a bath, you know, with a hot drink or whatever. And I always read books with either a candle, my wax warmer, or my oil diffuser on. I'm always on my bed with my blanket on top, and I always have a hot drink with me, be it coffee or tea, and I always have snacks. So I completed the 7th challenge. So I did all 7 challenges. I completed the entire readathon for myself on the 12th, which was awesome. And I definitely cannot wait for the second round of this. I think this was like the first round of the Fantasyathon, but I totally enjoyed myself with this Fantasyathon, and I definitely can't wait to do it again. Next time, I'm probably going to aim to read a lot more high fantasy, but we'll see. But if you guys joined in on the Fantasyathon, definitely let me know. Leave your videos down below, your comments, and all that great stuff down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!